Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here with you to talk about Stars on Mars, episode number 4 for the fourth planet. And now here I am back with the co-host of Hit or Quit, who's talking about a lot of you know what these days. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great, Rob. I'm feeling like a badass mother fungus today.
Mother fungus, yes.
I'm infiltrating the podcast feeds.
Okay, all right. And who are the relatives of these people on Mars?
The relatives of these people on Mars, I don't know. Would they be any good? Like, I don't. Here's the thing. Do you think that the caliber of this celebrity on Stars on Mars, which is pretty good, I will say, do you think that based on what we're seeing on Claim to Fame, are these people famous enough to have their relatives? I would say so, yeah, actually, right?
I think that
But
the
like not Tom
people,
Schwartz, but
well, yeah, the people that I think could be in the mix for Claim to Fame, which is the other
Lance
show that yeah, Lance Armstrong and William Shatner. Though I think those are the two.
and I would say Marshawn Lynch.
I
They've had
don't think.
athletes like as
Yeah, I guess Marshawn Lynch is borderline.
yeah.
That he is certainly. Yeah, I think getting there. I mean, they had Brett Favre in season 1 of,
Yeah.
and Brett Favre was kind of like a face of the NFL for a
Right.
period of time. He's in Something About Mary. I think that Marshawn Lynch is like
That's the
one.
bump.
Yeah, I think Marshawn Lynch is like
Marshawn Lynch is in a movie this summer.
sure. I think he's like one
He's
step below that, right?
he's like
Right.
approaching that territory. I would
He's
love to see it.
approaching that territory.
Yeah.
I mean, Marshawn Lynch, I think, has become more recognizable post NFL than he was like during his playing career.
Right.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
he's
not to do a whole podcast about Marshawn Lynch, but Marshawn Lynch, like on the Buffalo Bills, like was sort of like not really a famous figure, and then Marshawn Lynch, like in his Seattle Seahawks playing days towards the end, I think became very recognizable and very famous.
yeah, when we finally go beast mode. So
Goes beast mode. Okay.
yeah.
But we're going to be seeing some people trying to go beast mode, controlling robot beasts and fighting against fungus beasts here today on
Naturally.
Stars on Mars. Jenny, you and I had to take a break from covering Stars on Mars on Monday night because we are covering Claim to Fame. That is not part of the Hit or Quit canon.
We're not quitting, especially after that first episode. Like, I mean, we knew going into season 2 of Claim to Fame that it needed to be its own entity from separate from
Mhm.
the Hit or Quit, because at this point we feel strongly enough about it that there's no quitting. We joked about, maybe we end up quitting Claim to Fame if all of the celebrities are like canceled. And spoilers for Claim to Fame season 2 premiere if you haven't caught up yet. The first revealed celebrity is probably one of the most beloved celebrities.
Mhm.
So I think we're in the clear. So we are not quitting Claim to
way.
Fame. So it's its own thing. And I had a really great time recapping that first episode.
Well, we have a lot to talk about here with Stars on Mars, but if you are looking for even more Rob and Jenny podcasts, you can check out our coverage of Claim to Fame. So we'll be talking about Hit or Quit. I don't think we're going to quit Stars on Mars this
Not
week,
just yet.
especially with a big cliffhanger coming up. That is, though, that this cliffhanger will be on the other side of a break for the 4th of July.
Yes. So no
That's America's birthday, Jenny.
Yes. Well, what about Mars's birthday? Okay.
Do
When
planets have birthday? I guess it's Earth Day.
There's Earth Day. There should be a Mars Day.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's no Stars on Mars next week. So
Mhm.
if we're not in your podcast feed, don't be alarmed. That's just because the show isn't on next week. But hopefully we will continue the following week after America's birthday. Because we got a little cliffhanger at the end of this episode, and I need to know what happens next.
Yeah. Okay. So, I did ask ChatGPT,
Ooh.
what day of the year should be Mars Day?
Yes. Oh, wait, Mars Day, did it give like a literal date?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So Mars
Because
Day is coming up, Jenny. It's
aren't
if we're gonna celebrate.
aren't the days of the week named partially after planets? Because like Saturday is like Saturn
Oh,
Day.
that's interesting.
Um
Yeah, I don't know.
Sunday.
Does it need to be a Monday, Mars Day?
I think it's Monday then. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, no. July 20th could
July
be
20th.
Mars Day because according to
What's the reason?
ChatGPT, July 20th, 1976 is the day when
Oh,
Viking 1 became the first NASA lander to successfully land on Mars and perform its mission.
okay. I mean, I think that's a reasonable and that could fall on Mondays sometimes. So
Mhm.
July 20, Mars Day, you heard
Mhm.
it here first. Is it a
Yes, and
thing?
yes, that will not be a Monday this year,
Okay.
but we could celebrate in spirit. Please tweet us on July 20th, Mars Day, if you're a fan of Stars Wars. All right,
So on
Jenny.
the on the Smithsonian Institution, it does say will present Mars Day its annual tribute to the red planet on July 20th.
Okay,
So well that this was something from
official,
2018. I don't know if they
official.
do it every year, but
Yeah,
ChatGPT knows what they're talking about. So
yeah,
we love AI here
yes. Okay.
on Stars on Mars.
All right. Well, let's start at the end of the episode and
Yes.
talk this through because we have an interesting cliffhanger, Jenny. Of we
Mhm.
are told that there is, of course, the food situation is bad, and there is some sort of a resupply mission coming in with 4 people that are coming in
Or
that
crew.
may, a la Natasha
Yeah.
Leggero,
Yeah.
they will need to be
So
rescued coming in. Jenny, who do we think
I
is
I
coming?
haven't even had time to process this because I was blindsided by this. I did not expect there to be people added a couple episodes into this show. This was just not something that I had ever considered happening. So my mind is blown.
Yeah,
Do you think that the new crew we're getting, and we have to assume they are also celebrities if they're even being mentioned as
maybe.
joining the crew, maybe. But do you think that these are celebrities that had like time conflicts with the start, but they wanted them so bad and they're like, "Oh, I could do
Yeah.
it if I can come in like a week later."
So I think there's a couple different options. One, this could be a different group of celebrities that are potentially like coming in maybe just for one episode.
Right.
Maybe
Okay.
just they
Like a
could not make the
cameo.
start of the production cycle. That's
Mhm.
possible. It seems odd that it would be 4 people like that unless they are like some sort of like package group.
Right. Like, is there gonna be some
Is
sort
it
of
BTS?
is it
How many people
is
are
it
in BTS?
I think way more than 4 to be honest, but I don't know. I don't know
Mhm.
my K-pop very well, but, um like, 4 is a lot when they literally just got rid of 2 at the end of this episode and got down to 7. We're already going back up to 11 because I was like, "Oh, this must be ending soon. We're already down to 7."
Yeah.
I am dumb and I just like I am the target demographic because I was genuinely surprised that there would be 4 new people coming in. I just thought that was
I
never
don't
gonna
think you're
happen.
dumb for thinking that. I thought the same thing.
Maybe I'm just not thinking very like intensely about what could
Mhm.
like the machinations of stars on Mars. But I think, a lot of this episode is increasing the talk of it becoming more of like a strategic and social game and, alliances becoming more important to the game itself.
Mhm.
So I think that it's very interesting that they're going to toss in 4 new people.
Well,
Do you think
maybe,
that they'll
maybe.
get like some sort of immunity or something?
So
Like,
I think that that's one thing that it could be. Two, I think there's also the possibility that this is sort of like that these are like non-playing characters that are coming in.
mm,
Like, could this hypothetically be either like some version of like people that are coming in to annoy them? I always think of in Big Brother 4, they sent like a mime into the house, basically like a Big Dick Johnson
yes.
type, where this is somebody who's going to come in, and these are like actors playing some sort of a role that are
Mm,
coming in to be part of whatever the next mission is.
okay. Yeah, that would be a good use of other celebrities if you had people that were interested in being a part of the experiment without being part of the full experience. Where clearly, the big problem that everyone's having right now is like the boredom and just really having the morale being low. You see how excited these people get over like drones and robots is just something to do. So bringing in other people to just liven things up and make things a little bit more exciting for them. I think that's a good use of some big names if you've got them. But yeah, I don't know. Like, so do you think we're gonna get bigger names if they are
Okay.
truly
Well,
not here for the rest of the season?
Jenny, so here's my thought.
Okay.
There's four of them. There's
Mm-hmm.
four people coming in on this resupply mission to
Okay.
work with our celebrities. I can think of four people that if you were going to be putting these celebrities through training,
Mm-hmm.
could it be Bill Billingsley, Remy,
Oh my gosh.
the other
The other
guys,
guy and the other guy. Oh my god. I think I
Foxy,
Foxy and
Rudy?
Rudy. Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's
The
four
core
of them.
4.
There's four. Could you imagine?
I would die. I would die. But like this is Fox. This is
Look, Foxy. Yep. Only
the
because, Jenny, you've been calling out how they're still using the memes. Like the
Yeah.
header on the Twitter page is still like, I
Is
think they're
this
very
cross
much in the world's
promotion?
toughest test business.
We're getting a season 2 of World's Toughest Test. So is this like cross promotion opportunity?
It's the
Like are they
same production company.
keeping it front of mind saying, "Oh, if you think you can hack it on Mars, just wait
Yeah.
until you try the world's toughest test."
So I am leaning more towards that it is like some sort of gimmick that's going on. Like it's going to be
Yes.
some
Okay.
more so than I think if we had like really big celebrities,
Mhm.
I think that they would like have really like teased us more. Like you'll
'Cause
never
they
believe.
yeah, cuz you want to get people based on those names alone. So yeah, that's a good point. I am just in love with the idea of the special forces calling World's
Surprise!
Toughest Test people there. Oh my god. Or is it going to be people from like from the cast of that? Like are we
Oh, could be
getting
the
Hannah
four
Brown?
farmers from Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh. They're like,
They need
None of us found
farmers. They
wives.
need
We're
farmers.
we're looking for
Jenny,
we're
it's a
looking for
resupply mission.
they're here to replant the crops. This is well that is a very funny point because they're getting a resupplies. Like the point of them coming inbound is they're replenishing the supply. We know that we had the fire in the biodome. They're eating a lot of processed food right now.
Yeah.
I think we heard Portia say, "Oh, maybe we're getting a chef."
Could be
Farmers
Gordon
though.
Ramsay. Could be Gordon Ramsay. I thought
Oh
that
yeah,
also.
we're getting Crime Scene Kitchen. We're getting
Hmm.
Gordon Ramsay.
Could be the judges
Joel
from The Masked
McHale.
Singer.
Yeah. Who knows? But you're right. It's probably unlikely that we're getting 4 true, like, crew members that are going to be, like, in the competition with the rest of them, and that it's more likely a short-term gimmick style kind of,
That's my
situation.
guess. That's my guess.
I
Okay.
mean, this competition is for nothing too, so it's like, what is the point of bringing people in to be a part of the mission, like, halfway through? Like, I I don't know. They're not competing for money or anything, like, not even for charity. It's just to be the brightest star in the
Right.
galaxy.
If it was one person coming in, I think that that would be more likely that it could be like a celebrity. But the fact that it's four people, it seems weird that we would like have like a whole new cast with four people.
Yeah, that's
All right.
that's a very good point. I would love to hear other people's theories on who we're getting
Please,
next week,
please let
so
us know. All
love
right.
that.
But Jenny, we did have a double eviction
Yeah,
episode this
extraction.
week, a double extraction
You've heard
where
of double eviction?
Natasha,
Get ready for double extraction, baby.
Natasha and Tom
Yep.
had to go here this week. And
hmm
I don't know, first off, for either of these people, did you feel like that this was a quit?
Not for Tom. For Natasha, she literally got onto her knees and said, "Please, please, please let me leave Mars," which I feel like, I mean, if we were debating whether Richard Sherman was a quit last week, when he simply just insisted that the other two people at risk were more mission critical than him,
Mhm.
um, I think that Natasha's is definitely a quit. Or, just a self-sacrifice, I guess. When you're one of three people and you know that, like only one of them is making it out, and there's probably, that's the other thing. You're probably going no matter what. Is it like, do you play the like, please let me go, free me from this, I can't do it? So then you're controlling the narrative. It's like, I'm not fired, I quit. Like, that is that the strategy there?
Mhm.
Because it's
So,
like, well, I made it easy for you, I'm gonna leave, so
mhm.
protect your
Yeah,
ego.
that's interesting, in terms of, being able to control your narrative on the extraction.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that that is a concern of Natasha's. She's a
Yeah.
comedian. She's got the self-deprecation thing down. And I don't think that she takes it too seriously and has not been shy about saying how difficult a lot of this was for her physically. But I think that maybe, I think that she has an affection for Adam, and I think that of those three, she knew that Adam definitely needed to stay, so maybe this was her way of, like,
Yeah.
really just making sure that she was gonna go.
Well, the surprise for me was that they left Adam in the bottom 3.
So who do you think I th here's the thing, the
Portia.
2
Portia should have been in the bottom 3.
yeah, so the 2 that went were the right
Portia
people
should
to
not have
go.
gotten a patch this week. I'm sorry.
Wow.
For
So,
what? What do you want to give her a patch for?
um, I mean, here's the thing, is, like, she was the leader of her team. They did
Mhm.
get lost. Um But I do think that she bring they're because they're also looking at this, like, holistically too, where they're,
Yeah.
like, looking at, like, overall, is she bringing the most on a lot of these missions? And I think that that's probably what helped her, whereas, like, Adam, I guess, did really nothing, during this mission. He was
But
just
I mean, what about the last mission?
well, that's a good point. But I guess, like, Portia hasn't been terrible at anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
Portia hasn't had, like, one really, really bad challenge.
I mean, until this week.
Yeah, I guess. Do you really think that she was the one completely at fault for them getting lost?
No,
Because
but I think
she
she was the one completely at fault for almost making them not complete the mission.
so because she was, like, running out of steam at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, it
saying
seems
that
like they
she
all
that
were,
she
though.
is
Like,
bad. I'm just saying that of any like, what was Adam
yeah.
doing that held them back?
Well, I don't think Adam held anyone back at the end, because that was, like, his thing that helped him, where he's like, "I, like, booked it at the end," and he was part of the reason that
Mhm.
Natasha even made it up. But I felt like the people, because even, like, Tinashe, who's, like, killing it, was gassed, and one of the last people to make it up the hill.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. But, like, Portia even said, she was like, "I got, like, the ragtag team here," because her group, again, they had these 2 teams and they weren't even. They were like 4
Jenny,
and
I
3
don't even understand why they had to be in 2 teams. Can you explain that to me?
because there was 2 different caves, or 2 different parts of the
So,
cave,
but were
2
there
different
2
sources of
were
fungi,
there was
mother
so there
fungus.
was 2 different mother funguses.
Yes, and so they needed to go to separate parts of the cave to, annihilate the mother
Yes.
fungus with flamethrowers.
With
What
yes.
is this show? It's so
I don't know. I don't really understand anything about what's going on in the show. This was like I suspect you did not watch The Last of Us, correct?
I did not. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, too much for me.
Yeah, it was too much for me also. But so if you just kill the mother fungus, the rest of the fungus, because it would look like we had an infestation of the fungus with a
Yeah.
black light in the hab. But if we go in the cave and burn the mother fungus, that kills everything.
It's the life force for it, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe there's things that can be done at the hab to get rid of the fungus that's there once you've dealt with the source, the mother fungus. Listen, I don't understand the science around it. Again, we need
Hmm.
Liana,
Hmm.
are you
The
free? I need
fungus is mother.
mother. Speaking of mother, Liana, can you please can you please help us figure out if getting rid of the mother fungus
Yes,
would have
we have some RHAP listeners who are experts in fungus.
Okay. So please let us know if this strategy of going into the caves, getting rid of the mother fungus would have somehow dealt with the fungus all through the walls of the hab. Um
Hmm.
but yeah, like the teams part of it, like we had two, they weren't even. Like is it worse to have four people? Because I think they had
Yeah.
two flashlights, the group that had four people.
I didn't understand this mission at all, and
That's me
so
every
for
mission.
me, this was for me that this was like half the episode was, and then
Yeah.
they did the mission, and then the like it was like 10 minutes of like trying to get back to the rover. Now, the
Yes.
thing that for me that was very immersive about this was I watched this episode on the treadmill this morning,
Ooh,
so
where you
I
were
was
running
walking
with
on the tread.
them.
Yes, I mean I wish I should have had like a backpack on and like a
Like a
spacesuit.
really helmet or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would have helped me actually really feel like I was in it.
Yeah, it's like method podcasting, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. But
yeah, that would they did a good job with the edit of, like, making it seem, pretty down to the wire, but, I agree with you that the missions are still taking too much of the episode, with that being the least and sometimes very hard to follow part of the episode, and it's not giving as much entertainment as all of the other stuff. Like, I really do feel like they could cut the missions down a little bit, still deliver the drama, and the, how unsure we are whether they're gonna make it or not. Like, they can still do that, and then leave some other time for, like, the social politics of it all, because we're being told that there are sides of the houses or the hab forming here, and I really enjoy the, like, silly little interactions in the hab between these celebrities. Like, you have people here that are entertaining by nature because they are celebrities. Like, let them cook. Like, let them be themselves around each other and entertain us. And I just think that when you're doing the missions, you're not going to get that. So I think they should really be
yeah,
shortening those.
I wholeheartedly agree. Jenny, let's just some words about we talked about Natasha. Do we want to say
Mhm.
anything about Tommy Too Nice,
Tommy
who
Too
ends
Nice.
up really in this episode did get sort of like the exit episode
Yeah,
content
for sure.
where
He
he
was
is like now just completely reorienting the way he sees the entire world after his experience on Mars.
Yes, it was truly an existential experience for Tommy Too Nice. This episode was telegraphed for his boot the way that Richard Sherman's was last week, and even more so, especially because we
Yes.
knew we were going to lose
We
two
are
people.
so on point on the Margic.
We know the the Marchick. No, we are on it because we were getting peppered all through this episode. Tom talking about how he wanted to come here as a reset, and all of the drama back on Earth. I love that Tom is really committed to the bit of them
Yeah.
being on Mars. Like, he's always referring to back home as Earth and not not like North America. Like, he's
Mhm.
really, really, playing into the thought that they're on Mars. And I love that. I love that he's, playing along.
He sells
But
it.
yeah, he's talking a lot about how, like, he's getting lost in his thoughts here and there, thinking about all of the stuff back home. But this has been like a good mental reset for him. And yeah, it really seems like this was like a formative experience for Tom, and
Yeah.
he feels refreshed now to go back and deal with
Scandival.
Sandoval, yeah. And, like, also someone told me that because there was like an article that he's like separated himself from
Oh.
Did we talk about this already? I thought there
I
was
don't think
like,
so.
oh, okay. Well, I thought that there was like an article that's basically being like, he's not friends um with Tom Sandoval anymore. And
Mhm.
apparently it was clickbait, and it's more so he's just separating himself from the scandal part of it now, and like he's
Mhm.
actually still like good with this guy. So
Oh, he
anyway, I don't
separated
know.
himself from the scandal.
He's just like, I'm just like not
Okay.
a part of this anymore.
Boy, that's slick. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
So maybe
move.
he came back and was like, all right, I'm seeing the world in a different way after my experience on Mars, and I need to protect my peace, and I am separating myself from this.
Jenny, a big part of this week's episode was as you were talking about the alliances. Okay. Are
Mhm.
there cliques? And it does seem like that this is the storyline here as we head into potentially the final 7 of Stars on Mars. And so I wanted to see what you thought about. Okay. It seems like that the 2 people that are very clearly on the outs and not in the clique are Lance Armstrong and Marshawn Lynch.
It's interesting though, because we only got the explanation of the clicks from Marshawn. So we get this explanation where um the sides of the house at this point are Tinashe, Ariel, and Adam are like a thing. Then Marshawn, Lance, and Rhonda are a
Hmm.
thing. And then he said that Natasha and Tom, I guess you could call them swing votes. So they're like kind of in the middle. Now those two are
Floaters.
gone. So also Portia did not even get listed when he said that. So I don't think, maybe he forgot about Portia.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
Portia is more with the Ariel, Adam, and
Adam,
Tinashe
yeah.
side.
Yeah, you're probably right. But we do see that Marshawn and Lance have a close bond, and we get a little bit more of that in this episode, which is fun. So it's like I think they started off as frenemies, but like now there's like a true affection for each other.
Yeah.
But do you think then, Rob, that they think they have Rhonda more than they truly do? Because you feel like the two of them are on the outs, but Marshawn did list him having Rhonda, that it was him, Lance, and Rhonda as a side.
So I don't really know if they are really like playing sides. I think that they're sort of like resigned to like we don't like all this like gaming that's going on in
Mhm.
terms of like it should just be like the best people, and maybe they're looking at it more like a meritocracy as opposed to the other side of the house, which seems to be quote unquote play. I would say playing if it was a game. That they are working together strategically to stay on.
Yeah. It I mean, do you think that there's something about that with them being like professional athletes where it's
Definitely.
like, yeah, I'm seeing this as like you should, if you are doing the best job, then you should be kept and stay longer. Whereas
Yeah.
some of these other people, but then there are other people that I do think are taking it really seriously and are trying to play like do a good job for the, purpose of doing a good job. Like Tinashe, I think is like for someone who's not a professional athlete, like I think that she's someone who's like doing
Takes it very
incredibly
seriously.
well.
Right.
And I think she is taking it seriously and does want to do like well in the things, that isn't just trying to like position herself to like not get taken out.
Yeah. But
Um,
just the structure of sports, like for instance, like a football team, like in a perfect world, like is a meritocracy of
yeah,
like it's supposed to be like the people that are the best 53 people, those are the people that are on the team. And it's not like, okay, if you have somebody who is not pulling their weight, it's very rare that you have like an alliance of like 5 people that's like, okay, well, this person is with us. And so we're going to make sure they make the team or don't get cut because of our voting block. And so you do
right.
have like, potentially there would be a scenario where Ariel or Portia or somebody from that group could go home and they will like keep them.
Yeah. I it's tricky though, because like I think you see some of these other people like struggling with that mindset too, because like one of the other storylines of this episode that I truly enjoyed was this growing like feud between
Fungus.
Ariel and
Oh,
Lance.
yes.
And so, we see Ariel as someone who, she was the mission specialist, so she was safe. And she talks about how she wants to play an honorable game, and she literally calls it a game.
Hmm.
And so she has to admit that Lance did a good job and did deserve to be mission critical in this. Basically like acknowledging like he's not my favorite person and I would like him to go, but I'm playing honorably and I can't in good conscience like let him go yet. But I also notice in how when they were like talking about the decisions on which of the three to keep, the bottom three, like Ariel jumps in a lot and is like, but he's really nice. Like people are like, making like points about Tom and like why he's like he doesn't speak up, he doesn't like take initiative and all of these things. He's not really sure what's going on all the time. And then she's like, "Yeah, but he is very nice." So I think that she's someone who's really grappling with like the relationship part of it where she wants to keep people that like think she's good with them or she truly likes them. But there's this like voice in her head that's like play honorably and like that sport mentality of like you still have to keep the best people. And that's why she is saying like, well, Lance did a good job, so I do need to keep Lance.
Hmm. But let's talk about Cockroach Gate.
Oh my gosh. I love that the people are starting to get on each other's nerves and it's not just fake like
Hmm.
conflict. Like I love that I can truly tell that these two people don't like each other.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So,
let's Jenny talk about like one of the things that the show does well is I feel like that they're going to do something, but they sort of like tease what they're going to do before they actually do
yes.
it. And it
Yes.
seemed like that they release bugs into the house?
They sure did. They basically said that there is
Life
a
forms
source of
detected?
there's a possible contaminant
Yes.
detected. So this was like the foreshadowing of the mother fungus was okay. One of the first tasks after we get Rhonda as the base commander is that we have to clean the hab, and there are Martian cockroaches apparently that have 3 antennas. That's how
Hmm.
they're Martian.
I mean, huge if
um
true.
Huge if true, and they did look huge. I don't know how many of them were in the hab, at least a couple. So I assume they were real, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think they
yeah.
released some real cockroaches.
So
Sure.
there's cockroaches in the hab, and everyone's freaking out.
Yes. And now it's unclear, just like where Ariel talked about how like she was on some low budget movie. Like, I don't know if did they tell Lance Armstrong ahead of time, hey, like there's a cockroach. It's coming. Like Ariel hates cockroaches. Like, try to it just seems odd that Lance Armstrong would do would pick up the cockroach and then put it on Ariel, who had like a complete debilitating
Phobia.
fear, yes,
Yeah.
phobia of the
I
cockroach. Like,
mean, it's definitely possible there was production interference, but I also just kind of believe that like Lance is the kind of guy that just like thinks that this is funny.
well,
And
he
would do
definitely
this
thought it was funny,
anyway.
but
Like
would
he's
was up for doing it. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that, even if they did put him up to it, I think that this is the kind of thing that he would do anyway and think is funny. Like he's got like just like that boomer energy of like oh come on, like yeah, it's not that serious, like take a joke, like someone's like I have trauma and he's like that's not a real thing. Like I just get that sort of energy from
Yeah,
Lance.
but I don't think
So
he knew that. In
he
fairness to
probably
Lance
didn't
on
know,
that,
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
but
maybe he had known the story, but no, but
she's the
she,
youngest though, and so I think that maybe he sees her as like, a child, 'cause she's probably like close in age to his son maybe. And so he
mhm,
thinks that this is like a fun like dad prank where like,
yeah,
oh, it'd be so funny to like, g- get under like Ariel's skin and like, play a little prank on her when like this is literally like the last person you should be doing this to.
should not be doing that to
Um,
her.
yeah.
And so, but I don't think he knew her backstory with
No,
this.
I don't,
But
yeah.
she is taking it very seriously. She says to him, "I will kick you in the balls.
Yeah. Straight to the balls. Yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting selection for Ariel here. That's where her brain instantly went. She said, I will kick you in the balls.
Yes.
Lance Armstrong.
Which I don't know if she
I mean, she didn't know who he was.
She didn't know who he was. So
She
maybe
thought he had been to Mars.
Maybe she doesn't. She can't possibly know that Lance Armstrong has also had testicular cancer.
Yeah, like, but if that is what she was going for, damn girl,
it's cold-blooded. Yeah,
she certainly went below the belt
for sure.
Both
but then we get her backstory, and this backstory was horrific.
About the cockroaches.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get it because I hate all sorts of bugs. I am like terrified of. I've only seen a cockroach literally once in my life, and it was disgusting and terrible, and I hated it. If someone was chasing me with a cockroach, I too would probably have a meltdown like that.
Yeah,
and maybe
as would I. But her backstory was that she was like on like a low budget movie as a child, and in this movie that they were like put like live cockroaches all over the child actors who seemingly were there against their will.
Yeah. I'm hearing more and more about how like Ariel's situation as a child actor was really not good. And her relationship with her family is actually not good. So this is kind of all adding up here, and this is probably the source of a lot of Ariel's trauma. So I guess the storyline of the movie was like they were kids that had been like abandoned by their mom or something like that. So like I'm wondering if like the cockroaches were like part of like, oh, and they're like in this like house that's overrun with cockroaches. Like, because I'm trying to figure out like why were there cockroaches?
I'm looking at her
IMDb
movie? And trying to
figure out the movie.
What this movie is. Probably this is pre-mo. She's been in a million things.
It's so funny because I mean, would I know any of these?
Was it Curious George?
I don't think so.
I don't know. This might be like a pre-IMDb thing.
So wow, you think that like before things were
Horton Hears a Who?
No.
She
said she was like 7 or 8.
Okay. So she did a movie called Duress in 2009. Okay. Duress, haunted with nightmares of his wife's recent suicide and struggling to mend the relationship with his only daughter, Richard is caught as a witness. But she says that in the movie she had a brother. Okay,
so she was born in 1998, and she said she was like 7 or 8 when she did this movie. So that brings us to what, like 2006-ish?
So, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's not a low budget movie. Yeah, I think this might just be like pre IMDb.
Listen Up. She played Little Girl in it.
I think that was a TV show. With Jason Alexander.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay. What about the movie Grilled? She's in the movie Grilled. It's with Ray Romano and Kevin James. I think that's probably not low budget horror movie.
Yeah, maybe this was so like low budget that it just didn't.
They got it.
It didn't even get onto IMDb.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, if anyone knows what this movie is, that she was referring to, we have any Ariel Winter historians,
winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Please let us know. I will not be watching any scenes with cockroaches. Thank you very much.
Jenny, the most badass part of this episode has to be, though, Marshawn Lynch with the flamethrower, right?
Oh, yeah.
That made for the hour of television.
As soon as I knew that they were giving Marshawn the flamethrower in this episode, I was like, thank God we are not losing Marshawn Lynch this week. Because I knew that
Say hello to my little friend.
Al Pacino shit, as he said. That was incredible. And I like when he's excited, because sometimes it feels like he's like not having a great time there. It does, there's this conversation between him and and Lance, where he basically like Lance is like, I'm in this for the long haul, and Marshawn's like, okay, if you're in it, then I'll ride with you. So I think that basically that's his person now. But there are times where I feel like he's like losing his like drive to be there and is like, this is kind of stupid. So when he gets things like flamethrowers and he gets excited and he's having a good
Yeah.
time, I'm happy because I want him there and I want him
Yeah.
to be having fun.
Marshawn likes to go on the missions between
Yeah.
driving the rover, between the flamethrower. Like, I feel like that's sort of the excitement for him. I think he doesn't like
Yeah.
being cooped up in the HAP.
No. Yeah. He, especially if he doesn't have his own little
Flying the
ring.
drone.
Yeah, he likes to have something to do. He's an action guy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he wants to, but I think that like when he held the ladder, he hated that because
Hated
like
that.
what a
Not
boring
excited.
job.
That was a
He
boring job.
wants action movement. Like when he was doing the filling the buckets, like he was like drumming on the buckets and stuff. Like
Yes.
give him something to do with his hands,
Right,
okay?
don't
He's
climb
very
down. Don't rappel down a mountain. He doesn't want to do that.
no, no.
Doesn't like heights.
But this was the
Okay.
perfect spot for him. Give Marshawn Lynch the flamethrower.
Yes. Fly the drone was a pretty lame task.
I didn't understand the point of that. What did that have to do with anything? Like, I thought that it was going to have some sort of connection to the future
No.
mission, but truly, they just like, I think they were just like, they're bored, give them something to do. Here's
Yeah.
a drone. And they
And
had
they got
to
to go have like some alliance talk.
alliance time. Yes, exactly. So they went out in their suits, and I guess Marshawn, flies drones a lot, and Lance had never done that before.
Who
And so
knew?
they just flew the drone to check on the biodome that they taped
Yep.
up last week
It's
just
like
to make sure
still
that it was
taped
good.
up.
Like they wound it in as it was like some sort of important piece of the mission, but it was like
It was
just
not.
ended up being like nothing. It's like, yeah, it's good. Okay. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed like the talk between them and getting the more context that they are actually close. Like Lance said that Marshawn's going to be a friend for life.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Okay.
very close.
While the drone was lame, we got a second dog.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, Rob. I don't know.
But we got more robot dogs. And you know, the good thing about the robot dogs on Stars on Mars, I'm less scared of the robot dogs.
Yeah. You're not scared of robots in general, or is it like, are you
There's a
scared?
Black Mirror episode that's very scary about these dogs.
Okay.
So that when
So
I
these
see them
ones are like
like
cute and nice, and
when
they're
I
just
see them like bump into the wall and fall over
you're
and
like,
like
these
a
can't hurt me.
cockroach, they can't get up off their back. It's like,
Right.
nah, not too worried
Okay.
about it.
Um, can we discuss the dogs and the names? Because
Yes,
I feel
Marcia
like
and
there's
Eartha.
yeah, there's a little bit of revisionist history here because as soon as they say the initial dog, we named her Marcia. I was like, "You did?" Cuz I'm pretty sure you were calling her Marisha in the last episode. We
Mm-hmm.
discussed this. So
Yeah.
at some point, it went from Marisha to just Marsha. And I didn't appreciate that they don't think that I'm taking notes as I
Yeah.
have
Well, what
journalistic
do you like
integrity here.
better?
I think Marsha is like, I mean, it's two syllables. It rolls off the tongue a little bit, but I thought the dog's name was Marisha because that's what they said last week. And apparently it's Marsha. So now they have to name the second dog. And I think Adam was like, why not Jan? Because it's Marsha and Jan.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not go anywhere. And then Portia says, what's the planet closest to Mars? And
Mm-hmm.
it's Earth.
Yeah.
So
Venus is going to be a great dog name.
do you think they'll get a third?
Yeah. I mean, too bad they're not going the other way. They could hit Pluto.
Yeah, that's true. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they settle on Eartha. Which at first I was like, are they saying Gertha? Are they saying Bertha?
Gertha.
Well, I was just like, are they trying to make it a little closer to an actual name? Because like no one's name is Eartha,
What about
right?
Eartha Kitt?
Who's Eartha Kitt? I'm sorry. I
Very
don't know who that
famous
is.
actress.
Oh, sorry to her. Is it spelled
Mm-hmm.
like Earth with an A?
I believe
Or is
so.
it like I?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't know that was a name, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry to her, and I'm sorry
Yes.
to Eartha the
To
dog. Uh,
Eartha. Yeah, Eartha Kitt. Yeah,
Okay.
there should be more Earthas because Eartha Kitt is very famous.
Yeah. Well,
She
okay,
was
let me see.
one of 3 different women that played Catwoman on the old Batman TV series.
Okay, so she has passed.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I did not know who this was.
Yeah.
But I also a bunch of the Emperor's New Groove? Is she, like, a
Mhm.
voice actress too? Okay.
I think she had a very distinctive voice.
Okay.
Eartha Kitt.
This is the only person I've ever heard of named Eartha now,
Yeah, so I'm
besides this
surprised
this
there weren't
dog.
more Eartha that she was very beloved.
I like the sound of Eartha more than Bertha,
Bertha,
um,
yes.
maybe because of the word birth? I don't know.
Yeah,
Even
I
though I
get
don't think
that.
it's spelled that way usually. Is Gertha
Yeah.
a word? Girth?
Girth is
Is
a
Gertha
word.
but I know
Girtha,
girth is a word, sorry, is Gertha a name is what I mean.
I don't believe so.
Gertha, baby name meaning origin and popularity.
Do you know
Uh,
any Girthas?
I don't personally in my life know any Gerthas. Um,
Mhm.
so it was more popular in the late 1883 to so like
Mhm.
1928.
Yeah.
Started to take a downturn around
The
the
60s,
60s
yeah.
and then
Yeah, well, that
really
was the
plummeted.
skinny, you're like, "Oh, you gotta be like, so unhealthy and skinny in the
Yeah, see?
60s. Now,
You're
don't
thinking
name your
that
babies Gertha
so
anymore.
Gertha
Well,
was
body positivity is here, baby, and so
okay, so
bring back
Gertha
Gertha.
Gertha went the way of,
Bring
the
back Girthy
diet
Gertha."
fads. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I did not know that Gertha was a name either, but maybe we need to
I
people
think it
start
went
you want a
extinct.
unique name because
Yes.
all of the I see all these TikToks that are like, "Oh, baby names." I don't know why I'm getting baby name
Whoa,
TikToks, first of
Jenny.
all. Yeah, I know. It's what is going on, algorithm? Have you
Yeah.
met me? All right. Um,
You're on baby
eh,
name TikTok.
I'm it's just showing up on my feeds. I don't know why. But anyway, it's like names that you thought were like really unique that are like about to explode. And then like if you name your kid this right now, then like there's gonna be like 5 of them in their like
Yeah.
kindergarten class. I truly think though, Gertha,
Gertha.
no one's doing Gertha.
Maybe you're
So if
starting the
you're
trend. Maybe the
yeah,
first Gertha 9 months from now
Gertha
is gonna
and
be born.
Eartha. Gertha and Eartha is on the rise
Yeah.
here.
Eartha
Okay.
should be more popular.
Eartha, I think is yeah, it's cute. It's
Mhm.
Earth with an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, but I still am just annoyed that they like just yada yada the fact that the dog was named Marisha at a point. They were calling it Marisha last week.
Stop with this Marisha erasure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Jenny, anything else that you want to mention from this week of Stars on Mars?
No, not I think we hit pretty much everything. Oh, I
Mhm.
love the little moment where they get the shaddy daddy at the end there to let them know about completing the
Mhm.
mission and Rhonda says Shatner has less wrinkles than her and he's 90 and I was like is he
Mhm.
really 90 and he is
Yes.
92.
Oh, yes, I knew that. Yeah.
um and so Ariel's like yeah it's just definitely Botox but
Mhm.
I just thought that was very funny. I mean he looks really good
Looks
for
great.
92
Yes.
like
Yeah.
but maybe it's because he's Canadian.
Could be.
I look young for my age. So, like,
Hmm.
I might end up being like Shaddy Daddy and
I got to get citizenship.
yeah,
Let's
that's
do
how
it.
it works.
Yeah. And then Jenny, we saw for the second time this season Ronda Rousey in like a fake fight with somebody. I think the show loves that. It's like
Yes.
anytime we can get Ronda Rousey wrestling with somebody in the first 10 minutes of the show, people might think they're accidentally watching SmackDown. It's great.
So I might stick around.
Yes. Second thing
Um,
this week, I'm podcasting about Ronda Rousey this week as I'm going to be on the Wrestling RHAP up to talk about Ronda Rousey defending the tag team championships at Money
oh,
in the Bank.
oh wow. It's a very rousy week for you.
Very
Very arousing.
arousing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cute. And Portia seems like such a fun energy to have around too.
Sure.
Like she just like seems like she's there to hang and make the most of the
Yeah,
experience.
she's fun. She's fun.
Yeah,
She
she
just
is.
I
She's
think
very
she held
fun.
them back in the challenge this week.
Yeah. I see what you mean. They definitely. I love it when they were like talking about like how people did, and they're like, and Portia, she led the team so that they wouldn't get lost, and then Arla's like, but they did get lost.
They did, but they got to the
Actually,
they made it like as a countdown. 25 minutes, like, oh no, they're out of oxygen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like, okay, wait, they die?
They
If they
just
don't get
they
oxygen
die.
in
I think
0
they fake
seconds?
die. They fake die.
Yes, they
But they
fake
do
die.
a good job with the edit where like, cuz the way that they were showing like the time ticking down where they were running to the rovers. I was like, realistically, that you can't make it if you have 4 seconds left and they were like the amount of feet
I
away.
think there was some editing magic going on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which I was like, I appreciate that they're trying to make it a little bit
Mhm.
more exciting, but my notes are shorten the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Let's just truncate that a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this was Stars on Mars, episode 4. No Stars on Mars next week. Jenny and I will be podcasting Claim to Fame.
Yes, we
You
will.
can subscribe to that podcast feed at robhasawebsite.com/fame feed. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back to talk about who shows up on
Yes.
Stars on Mars. Jenny,
Who are the
last
4
night
crew members?
we
I want
got
to hear your
together
thoughts.
for an exciting Brand Steel
We
action.
did. Yes.
Yes, you can hear Jenny and the entire festivities up at robswebsite.com.
Big cast.
What
Banger
else is coming up
cast.
for you this week, Jenny?
Well, beyond this, I will be live tomorrow night on Thursday evening to draft the first boots of Big Brother US. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't get to do draft things very much.
Mhm.
And I, no major spoilers for the brand steel if you haven't paid attention to it yet, but I thought I was manifesting a first boot for me just by agreeing to do the first boot draft in the same week. Like I just felt
Mhm.
like there was some sort of energy there where I was like, "Oh, I'm about to be a first boot because I agreed to do the first boot podcast." I didn't. That's all I'm going to say. That is the one
Mhm.
spoiler you get. But yeah, so check that out. That will be live, I think 6 p.m. on Thursday. To do the first boots of Big Brother draft, and I'm pumped about that. That'll be
Okay.
some silly fun.
Check that out. That's going to
Yeah.
be on Thursday. We've got plenty more coming your way on everything we're doing over at Robin's podcast. You can hear it all at robbinswebsite.com/subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.